Hey up lads and lasses, Damphyre here, back again with some more Infinite Lagrange. So I've had this request quite a lot, and it's to go through each of the ships and sort of give you an idea of what you should be putting your tech points into and that kind of thing. Most are relatively self-explanatory, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to try and keep these videos as short as possible, and I'll try and cover all the ships, and I'll put them in a single playlist, so you can easily just go into that playlist and scroll through and find the ships that you want. I'll start off with the frigates, and again, I'll do one ship and all its variants at a time, of the ones that I obviously have. I think I've got all the frigates, so I should be okay there. It's when it comes to the cruisers, I'm missing a couple of the variants. But other than that, it should be useful for you in some formal way. And it will give me an opportunity to talk a little bit more in depth about some of the strategies and that kind of thing that are on ships that should generally be ignored because they're just not very good, or if they trigger under certain situations, they do literally nothing, and if anything, maybe decrease your DPM. So without further ado, let's jump into the frigate today, and I'm guessing it's probably like the Noma or something like that, but yeah, let's jump into that. So here we are doing the Noma today. The Xeno will be recorded today as well, but I'll probably drop that tomorrow. But yeah, I'll try and get these out as quickly as possible, so you know you got like one a day sort of thing. Obviously, if you watching the channel, I've got Terra and Victor going at the moment as well, so I'll have to find a place to stick that at some point. But yeah, so the Noma. 3 variants. You've got the Siege, the Support, the Anti-Aircraft. The Anti-Aircraft, unfortunately, doesn't work particularly well at the moment. It only seems to be working when it's getting attacked, which is a little bit unfortunate. So I actually don't recommend you ever run the Anti-Aircraft type, like, at all. Just don't run it. Now, the Siege type does have its use, and its uses in a fast attack, sort of behind enemy lines type fleet, where you're running very high speed cruisers. You can push this cruising speed up a bit further as well with the upgrades, and the idea is to just get onto an outpost before somebody wakes up or notices, and knock their outposts or amp out as fast as possible. So you want the highest amount of siege damage you can potentially bring, as well as having the speed to get around and get out of the way, and run people around a little bit if they're running like a heavy fleet trying to chase your little siege fleet. Works extremely well in that situation. I haven't run a Siege Noma in a while personally, but that's because I got the Siege IO. But if you don't have the Siege IO, or you're just trying to be a bit more CP conscientious than I am, the Noma is actually a very good little siege ship. So in the Siege UAV system, which is its most important system, you're best off trying to grab the RTBs and the increased damage, the siege damage anyway. The hit rate really doesn't matter here. The last sort of 3 don't matter. As long as you've got the siege damage in the RTB, I mean, this doesn't increase the siege damage generally. Or if it does, it's very, very minimal in comparison to the siege damage that you're going to get from this one. So you could potentially pick up the extra damage here in case you do get into a fight. At the same time, the hit rate's going to be better in that situation. So your choices really are the 2 siege damage, the RTB, the hit rate, or the increased damage in case you do get attacked and your fleet does get attacked. You probably want the hit rate personally. Armor-wise, it's pretty simple, really. You pick up the 2 ship HPs. They're going to provide more overall HP than the physical resistance damage negation is going to do, bar some very minimal-sized weapons that do like next to no damage anyway. So that extra HP is just going to be better for you in the long run. You can pick up the energy resistance here, and then you pick up 1 physical resistance at the end as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the armor. So we jump over to the generic battery system. do pick up this strategy. It is actually very, very good. It's 100% uptime, so as soon as you're attacking an enemy city, base, amp, operation, etc., you're going to get a nice 35% cooldown on this weapon system, and the ship's UAVs will get a 30% chance to cause an extra 100% damage. It does stack up quite nicely with all your damage mods and stuff like that, so definitely think about trying to pick this up. Also recommend grabbing this, the anti-aircraft coverage expansion. It will increase the anti-aircraft coverage to the entire row, which it doesn't do much, but it's a nice thing to have. It might help a little bit, taking out a few fighters and that sort of stuff. Obviously, city fleets, well, sorry, not city fleets, but base fleets, aircraft defense fleets can't get targeted. So do bear that in mind. It's only like a reactive thing in case you do find yourself in situations where you are in combat with your siege fleet, which you should never be doing. In the case of that, picking up the system hit rate and then the damage last is your best bet. Damage last here is due to the fact that the damage works off this damage per hit stat. Now, if your damage per hit is so low, like it is here at 15, that you don't get anything unless you max out this damage, this is going to give you 10% damage, which means it's only actually going to give you 1.5 extra damage. Yeah, it's just... be aware when you're picking the damage stat over, say, the cooldown. Have a look at the weapon, because if you're only going to get 1.5% damage, it's really not going to do anything for you in the long run. Albeit, to be fair, this hasn't been upgraded. You can get an extra 30% if you upgrade this weapon system, but I'm not going to. Propulsion system's pretty simple. There is only cruise speed, so pick the cruise speed. I believe that's it for the siege type. The support type, really, really strong. It's got the strongest heals, I believe, in the game at the moment. It is stronger than the series on the heal. They do heal a larger chunk. The series has a better spread of healing because it has the extra UAV. But the Noma will heal bigger chunks. So if you're in, say, using cruisers and stuff like that, you probably prefer the Noma on the support here, due to the fact that the cruisers are CP intensive. This isn't. This is very CP light, and it's going to give you the bigger heal per ship when it's healing those ships in that situation. Anyway, my recommendation here is to take the triple RTBs. This is just decreasing the cooldown and increasing the uptime of your UAVs on the ships that you want them to actually heal. Then picking up the double UAV repair effectiveness. For the last part, you probably want to pick up the emergency repairs here. That will help stop your Nomas getting just blown up too quickly. Albeit, if something is attacking your Nomas, there's a good chance it's going to die regardless if this emergency repair goes off or not. But if they don't completely kill it and they leave it a little bit low, it can rep itself back up to like 70%, 80% pretty quickly, and it's quite nice in that situation. Again, for the armor, it's pretty much the same thing. Look for the increased HP, take the energy resistance, and then the single physical resistance. And for the generic battery, we have, again, primary weapon locks onto enemy aircraft and nearby row. Highly recommend picking this up. It gives you increased hit rate. I actually quite like picking up the missile interception subsystem here. It reduces a little bit of damage incoming towards your fleet. And then I'll pick up the hit rate and one of the damages for the 4 slots in probably that order as well. This might only be 2%, but it's 2% for each ship. So it actually stacks up. If you've got 10 of them, you are looking... It's not 20% per se, it's 20 lots of 2% chances. So probability and stuff like that, a bit too complicated for this video, I think. But it does work out and it helps a little bit. Anti-aircraft system, just don't run this. It's just, they don't work properly. There is like 1 or 2 aircraft UAVs that actually work in this game as they're supposed to, or as I feel they're supposed to. This is not fleet-wide. It's just terrible. Just don't run it. There you go. there's how you do the anti-aircraft frigate version of the Noma. You just don't run it. Don't put any tech points into it. Put your tech points into support or siege and call it a draw, because the anti-aircraft variant's just not worth running at all. So, Noma, although I don't rate it particularly greatly on a lot of my videos where I do the ratings and stuff, it has got a usable function. It's got the niche siege type, which if you are looking for a pure siege fleet, the Noma does a pretty good job of it. And you got the support type, which is reliably one of the better healers in the game. So there you go. And just ignore that Type C exists. If you get the choice to pick up Type C in the box, just pick the tech points. There you go. Save yourself from having to have this in your collection. Unless you are going, Pokemon, gotta collect them all. So there we have it. That is the Noma. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.